More things are starting to rise to the surface regarding the Jade Cargill situation. We'll also check out what's going on with Dominik, Finn, and more. Starting things off with Jade Cargill and everything that's now popping up, even about some events from 2024. A lot of things that are coming to the surface right now is mostly due to the heated social media exchange that Jade had with Rhea Ripley, Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven this week. We went over that a few days ago, but to quickly summarize, things started off as ordinary back and forth playful social media banter between the two WrestleMania opponents. But things went flying off the rails very fast after Jade made the allegation that Rhea Ripley spends hours talking to WWE's creative team in order to make sure that she has a top spot on the card. It was a weird thing to bring up and mention. That's not something you see get brought up on ordinary social media exchanges between superstars. So that had fans wondering what was real and what wasn't here. And then you had Jade Cargill also coming after Chelsea Green simply for praising Rhea's recent work, and Jade Cargill firing back at Piper Niven and poking fun at the fact that Piper is dealing with a career-ending injury. The whole encounter had fans wondering of how much of this is Jade Cargill staying in character and how much of this is real. No one knows. That's the big mystery here that everyone's discussing. How much of this is real? Social media exchanges can sometimes be used in order to promote a match and build up hype. That's why fans feel like Rhea and Jade's exchange is understandable. But for someone like Piper Niven to come in and exchange blows with Jade Cargill, everyone knows Piper is seriously injured and not coming back to the ring anytime soon. So that exchange was not to hype up a future match. So was that Jade and Piper exchange real? That's the type of questions floating around right now. No one knows how much of this entire situation around Jade Cargill is real and how much of it is a work. One of the things Piper Niven made a reference to was Jade Cargill's many vacations. And one of those breaks that Jade Cargill went on was late 2024 through the storyline of Naomi attacking her backstage. Jade Cargill was one half of the tag team champions with Bianca Belair at the time on top of their game. But they do that whole backstage angle where Jade was thrown on top of the car and then boom, Jade was suddenly gone. Jade would vanish from television for 5 months after that and would not appear again until March 2025. PW Insider reported this week that the reasoning for that late 2024 hiatus from Jade is still unknown. Some reports claim that Jade Cargill was injured and nursing an injury that required her to be written off of television at the time, but the other rumor is that there was no injury and that Jade was reportedly sent on a creative-related break just to ease the growing tension between the locker room and herself. Give her a few months off to just cool things down. So even until this day, nearly 2 years later, there's no clear answer to why Jade went missing for 5 months in the middle of a tag team title reign. Was it a real injury? Was it creative related? Was it tension related? Or was it a vacation like Piper Niven alluded to? No one knows for sure. The other situation that was a part of the report was the questionable relationship between Jade and the women's locker room. The report claims that the women in the locker room don't mind doing what the company asks for them when it comes to making Jade Cargill look like a star. But the report claims that the women don't feel like they're getting any respect back from Jade Cargill. The fans are all looking at this report and everything else that was mentioned there as a work, and something that's being planted by WWE just to blur the lines with Jade Cargill and mess with the fans. That's what they love doing the most, and it seems like these reports are purposely trying to drive that certain narrative of Jade Cargill being a monster heel, because that's exactly the direction they want to take her in. So when it comes to reports like this, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because it could absolutely be false planting information just to keep the narrative going. This report's narrative was that the locker room and Jade Cargill have issues with each other and how Jade does not show them any respect. Well, that sounds like exactly what the storyline is for Jade on WWE television. She's a heel that does not respect anyone and is a lone wolf in the locker room. So everything from the report perfectly matches up with who the character is. So that's why no one is truly sinking their teeth into the idea of this report being reality. Everyone believes this is just planted information to build up hype for Jade Cargill's WrestleMania match. And honestly, that's great, and it is working. Between the social media exchanges and now this report about Jade's status with the women's locker room, it has fans glued to their seats to see what happens next for Jade Cargill on Smackdown. So all these reports are bringing even more eyes and attention to Jade, and that's exactly what you want for your women's champion. So no one knows what's real and what's not in this entire situation, but either way, it's building up hype and discussion there around the champion. WWE introduced a new storyline this week that fans are interested to see where it goes, and that's Danhausen and his curse. Danhausen made his WWE debut at Elimination Chamber when he turned out to be the individual that was inside the mystery crate. That debut received some mixed reaction from fans, especially since it was hyped up there for 3 weeks as a big mystery. But Danhausen would end up making his Raw debut a few nights later with a segment that was better received than his debut moment. Danhausen gave Adam Pearce a list of demands that he wanted, but when Adam Pearce wanted out of the conversation, he stopped the Judgment Day and introduced them to Danhausen. The meeting went sideways real fast after Dominik said that the closest Danhausen was getting to his title was standing next to him. Danhausen proceeded to put a curse on Dominik and disappear, and later on in the night, we saw Dominik Mysterio lose the Intercontinental title to Penta during this first ever title defense of Dominik's second reign. And funny enough, Dominik lost a big title match after being cursed by Danhausen. So it's strongly looking like WWE may be writing Danhausen's curse as an actual real thing that superstars will have to deal with. It may not be a title loss every time, but if he curses you, you're going to see it and feel the effects of it with a curse in some fashion. In Dominik's case, it was him losing the Intercontinental title to Penta. So that really does seem like they're really setting the foundation for more segments between Dominik and Danhausen, where Dominik would certainly blame him for the loss and maybe look to get the curse removed. It's definitely not a storyline meant to be taken seriously. It's definitely more of a comedic side of things, but it still has the potential to be pretty entertaining of a storyline either way. So expect more segments between Danhausen and Dominik in regards to this curse. But flipping over to the more serious side of the entire scenario, that brings us to Dominik and Finn's dynamic of this storyline. Dominik asked Finn and JD if they'll be out there to help him win against Penta. But Finn made it clear that he wanted to see Dominik get it done on his own. So Finn was planning to be out there at ringside and watch Dominik retain it on his own. And during the title match, Dominik would call for Finn and JD to get him the hammer from the ring bell. JD went to get it for Dominik, but it was Finn who stopped JD from handing it to Dominik and reminded JD how Dominik had to handle the match on his own. And it was because of Finn stopping the cheating that Dominik would ultimately end up losing the match and losing the title to Penta. Finn handled his Elimination Chamber match on his own and accepted the result without any outside interference. And that's exactly what he wanted Dominik to do as well. Just handle it on your own and accept the result, which was Dominik losing the title. It seems like the clear path here is Finn Balor versus Dominik Mysterio, with Finn being the babyface and being ultimately kicked out of the Judgment Day. As we saw here on Raw, Finn basically has a babyface mindset. His morals and the way of thinking no longer goes with the Judgment Day, and he's now colliding with them instead. So it seems possible that Finn versus Dominik in a non-title grudge match at WrestleMania could be an option. It's even possible that Finn really tops off this babyface turn by maybe even bringing back the Demon to face Dominik Mysterio. So this match and feud may be back on, and hopefully we'll see it soon. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.